Alright, so basically looking at starting into the second tier. If I want, the Daedric Curse is pretty cool. It can do some really good damage over time. So it's pretty neat, but it does take 6 seconds, which is kind of a long time. What I'm thinking about doing is just keeping the build I have and then building up the passives. But we would look at like dark magic passives, I think. %, max out, so you're healing yourself while you're doing like the crystal shard. Hitting an enemy with a dark magic ability heals you for 4% of your max health. So if you have 100 health, you get what, 4 health every time you hit them with basically like crystal blasts, or when that explodes you get another 4% health boost. That's pretty neat. I like that one. Persistence while using dark magic abilities. Increase the duration of dark magic abilities by 10%. So that would make my imprisonment go up 10% in its time. This duration is basically 4.5 seconds, so what? Like half a second? Something like that. But you can make it, you can boost it. Might be 10, 20, 30%. Which be an extra second and a half. Which actually is a long time in battle. Exploitation. Okay. So I wonder if nearby allies is other people, not including myself, on that one. And then destruction staff. Alright, we got a new one. Force shock. Focus all the elemental energies with your staff and blast an enemy for 187 flame damage, 187 cold damage, and 187 shock damage. Blast also has a 40% chance of afflicting an enemy with chilled, burning, or concussion status effects. So does that basically almost 600 damage. Compared to this one, which does 48 damage over every 5 seconds. It lasts for 6 seconds, which means it's 100 for every second. Yep. So it does 650 damage, and this does. Where was that? 24600. About the same damage, except this is just an initial blast. Boom, 600 magicka. This one actually costs more. This one's cheaper. So I might check that out. New attack, might switch that with the unstable wall of elements. But this one, like, automatically unstable wall will reduce enemy movement speed, or, you know, I mean, automatically does it. And when it explodes, it does another 159. It's kind of built up, but I like this because it might be a little bit more of a instant hard hit. Boom. You don't really have to wait for the 6 seconds for this to go off, so you can kind of blast them hard with it right after you encase them. But it might do less damage though, because by the time I hit this off, it'll have done less damage over all the 3. But see what the trifocus is. Grants a bonus. Let's see, while using a destructive staff, heavy attack grants bonus effects. If you do heavy fire, you get an extra 8%. That's pretty badass. Heavy frost attacks reduce enemy movements. Wow, so this straight up adds frost attacks to the hit. Like it will reduce them if you do a heavy full attack. Pretty good skill. Penetrating magic with destruction staff equipped allows you destruction staff spells. See, and what I can do is basically hit trifocus and then use a cold staff and then use force shock, and then I don't need this to slow their movement speed, so I can do the damage, and then if they keep coming I'll hit them with damage and slow their speed. or whatever I want with Trifocus. They kind of go together. This is kind of a Trifocus skill. This is a passive. So might do that as our next kind of switch up the build a little bit. I kind of want to get it equipped right now too, to start getting it leveled up so we can see what its morph is. If its morph is strong, you might end up doing more damage, or at least trying to max the damage back with this one. Is that welcome to the show? If you have any questions, let me know. I'm basically building a sorcerer that's focused on control and DPS. So this would be the DPS side of it, I guess. But eventually we'll get to level 20ish, and then with level 20, and we'll go on to the vampire quest, turn him into a vampire, build him up, and bring him to the PS4. So light armor, the other things I haven't really looked at too much here. Annulment, surround yourself with a magic negation to absorb 1386 spell damage over 20 seconds. That's can be somewhat powerful in PvP, I bet. But is it just you? Yeah. So I mean, basically you could pop that though and kill another sorcerer. Would be the idea of it. Evocation. With more pieces of light armor equipped, reduce the magic cost of spells by 1% per piece equipped. So it would be 6%. I must have something on medium on or something. Alright, and then recovery. So the more light armor warning, the reduces magic cost of spells by 1%. So basically, indirectly, it increases your magicka. You know, because you don't have to spend as much. So then recovery is good. I actually need this 2% per piece light. So I mean, typically if you're wearing like all light armor, which I will be, then I'll typically I think get 14%. Or is it only 6? It is only 6. 6 in a weapon, I'm thinking. But or 6 in a shield if you're a hand and shield guy. That right there would be nice. So I wouldn't have to wait around in between battles. Spell resistance is a pretty neat deal there too. So you don't have to give us a defense against like spell attacks, which is basically what I'm dealing with right now. My only weakness is ranged attacks at me, so I just have to outrange him more damage, but I haven't really found a way to negate him yet. Which I know I'll be able to do. I should be able to do eventually, as long as I have something that kind of like knocks him out or whatever. Alright, Prodigy, a full set of armor equipped. Increase your spell critical rating. Nice, so you do more damage with your spells. It's pretty much when you max them out though. And your spell penetration. So that's pretty cool. That'll be fun to get all, like, wear all light armor and get all that maxed out. I think every one of those skills is good and worth maxing out if you're a sorcerer. Improved hireling, reduces stamina cost of sneaking. That actually is good if you're gonna be doing a lot of sneaking, like in PvP and stuff. But see, this is what I want to do for the thief character. See, because you can only fence off so many items per day. Picking locks, that's pretty cool. Forcing locks. If you want to do it real quick, just force a lock. If you don't have time to really sit there and pick it. If guys like patrolling back and forth, kick back. That's pretty cool. If you had that, let's see how many is there, 40 of them, so you can reduce by 40%. The idea that I'm trying to get to is not even getting the guards or getting noticed for your crimes, but if you do, the idea is to get back, fence everything off, and then you can just go back and let one of the guards kill you, and then revive at the shrine, and it doesn't hurt you it does hurt your damage, as you can see with your equipment, but that's it. So then the soul magic, I've never really seen a good build out of using this. It even has an ultimate: burn enemy from the inside with soul fire, dealing all that damage over 20 seconds and reducing movement speed, so it slows everyone down and burns them from the inside. That would be cool to see it, but you have to really equip soul trap. It does 520 magic damage, which is nice, and one other nearby enemy, and it's not even, it does fill souls, which is kind of cool. But soul gems, soul shatter: when your ability is slotted, if your health drops below 20%, your soul explodes, dealing all that damage to anyone nearby. Once every 2 minutes. That's spending a soul gem. New weapon kills. I mean, it's pretty neat, like tree, especially for harvesting souls and stuff. But I think the magic's pretty cool, and I think it'd be cool to make a dark magic build and a soul magic build. But the soul magic is just not, it just has that one attack basically, and I mean, it's not really comparable. Mage's Guild, they say this ultimate, a lot of people say this is the best ultimate in the game. So let's check it out. It's a meteor, it's instant, blah blah blah, 20 meters, cost $200. Call a comet down from the constellations to blast an enemy, dealing 1,218 flame damage to all enemies in the area and knocking them back. After impact, enemies in the target area take 402 flame damage every second for 10 seconds. So that's 4,000, I think, somewhere around there. Every 2 seconds is 1,000, so that's almost 5,000. That's pretty neat. It's like 4,000, I think, damage plus the initial 1,000, so it's 5,200. So over 5,000 damage, basically, to an area. That's pretty awesome. Okay, where are you going?
To HEB.
Why?
I want some tricks.
Hey, tricks are for kids, silly. I guess you didn't listen to the rabbit, but tricks are for kids, and not for adults. Hey, just eat the cereal that's in there.
There's none.
Anyways, I was trying to make a cool video on character creation. You just messed it up.
There's none.
Yeah, we just bought some.
I ate it all.
Oh, I thought we bought a new box just the other day. It was like that golden girl. I didn't even get one box and one bite, one cereal bowl of that. Well, it's fucking dark and late and midnight, so no.
Fuck, babe.
You're carrying my baby. You need to be safe. And going out at midnight into the fucking shitty fucking town we live in is not safe. I love you. Hey, I wanted snacks too, but there is none, so you just gotta make do. Tomorrow we'll get some. Alright, where are we? So meteor, yeah, it looks pretty badass. That's pretty cool. So let's see. Mage Light, I've actually used this on another sorcerer build I made. I was trying to make a build that focuses on critical hits. The idea was you could do criticals almost every hit. Yeah, so you increase your critical hit rate and get that as high as you can. So it's the entropy. Entropy, build and bind an enemy with chaotic magic, dealing 623 magic damage over 12 seconds and restoring 187 health to you, plus an additional 187 every 6 seconds. Also grants you major sorcery, increasing your spell damage by 20%. Okay, so you can bind an enemy. Your next hit will do even more damage to them. So I'm thinking entropy could potentially be more powerful than imprisonment. It's because it does the same. It does damage to them over time too. So it's fine.
Sure.
When's the expire?
Monday.
Oh, well, it's probably fine. You usually have like, it just depends. That looks good. You usually have to that day at least with Minecraft. So entropy will be one that we test out and see if it's better, that one, or shattering prison. Alright, fire rune. Inscribe a rune of cosmic fire on the earth. Plus enemy entering the target area for 500 flame damage. Just boom, 500 damage whenever you decide to walk across it. It's kind of cool, but kind of like, yeah, doesn't really do anything. So there's other spells that do 500 damage, and they do other stuff too. So, anyways, equilibrium. Barter with oblivion to trade vitality for power, sacrificing 751 health in exchange for 300 magicka. Now that's what I've seen in builds before, where you want to use it to, yeah, when you need that, just that boost of magicka to finish off and kill something, I guess. It would, basically mess up your health pretty bad. Give you a big boost of magicka, so. So I don't even know if I had 751 health total in my character. Alright, now we can get the passives for the Mage's Guild line. Persuasive Will allows you to persuade NPCs in conversation. Mage Adept. This one's kind of neat if you want to get it. It's just kind of not worth it unless you're really into like reading the storyline. Mage Adept. While using Mage's Guild abilities, reduce the magic and health costs of Mage's Guild abilities. So that health cost that boosts the equilibrium. Everlasting magic. While using Mage's Guild abilities, increase the duration of Mage's Guild abilities by 10%. The duration of them, so your entropy would be increased by at least 10% another second. It's pretty cool. Magicka controller. With the Mage's Guild ability slotted, increase your max magicka, and your magicka recovered by 1% for each Mage's Guild ability slotted. Okay. I mean, that one you basically, so you have to have a lot of Mage's Guild abilities. The only one I would be, I mean, if you had two of them, if you took entropy and equilibrium and equipped them, then you would get what, 2%? So I mean, at max you get 2%. If you filled your whole thing up, you would get 5% max. So it's, I don't see the bonus being that high, really. While using Mage's Guild abilities, casting a Mage's Guild ability has a 50% chance of granting him power, increasing the damage of your next attack by 20%, as long as it's activated. It's okay, so every time you cast one of the abilities, you have a 1 and 2, or basically every time you cast 2, on your second one you should cast, it should grant you Empower, the ability. Called Empower, increasing the damage of your next attack by 20%. So that one would go in line with, what was it? It was this one. So I mean, if you hit this, boom, you cast this, 50% of the time, your next attack would do 40% damage. Soul damage. That's like a pretty good bonus. That's pretty neat. And I see it increases your spell damage. So also grants major sorcerer, increases your spell damage so for 12 seconds. So not just your next attack. Your next attack will do 40% damage, and then your third, fourth, maybe fifth will do 20% damage boost. So that's pretty powerful stuff. It's a pretty good combo right there built in that. Basically use entropy, equilibrium. It don't matter. Well, yeah, you can, but I would just basically make sure you get entropy, and then get. You could get this one if you needed to boost with equilibrium. Either way, it's still pretty good to max it out, but I can get that one too, for sure, because that would not only increase the duration of entropy for 12 seconds, but it also increase the damage of your 20% for an extra, was it 10%? Yeah, 10% per ability or whatever. So that's pretty cool. Pretty cool. I think the Mage's Guild line is really powerful for mixing with the Sorcerer. That one, I would kind of skip that one. I don't know if I'd put the points into it necessarily. I mean, I guess I would if I had the points. You have extra skill points. Casting a Mage's Guild ability has a 50% chance, so that's pretty cool. So you use the Might of the Guild, so you don't get that until the end though. Like Guild rank 9. And then you got Undaunted. I have the Blood Altar. It's a really cool looking spell. It's like an altar that comes up with like an evil looking granite stone altar with a gold saucer in the middle that's has like full of blood boiling out. So it's pretty neat, and it heals you and protects you and stuff. Trapping webs, hurl strands of cursed spider silk to ensnare an enemy, dealing 412 magic damage and reducing their movement speed by 40% for 8 seconds. That's pretty neat. So you're like a spider. Allies can activate the spawn broadly synergy, dealing 660 magic damage and summoning 2 spiders. That is a cool spell, man. That is pretty neat. Inner Fire. Ignite the fire of hate in an enemy's heart, dealing 330 magic damage and forcing them to attack you for 15 seconds. Okay, I don't know if I would do that unless I was like that's like a Dark Knight or anti-paladin skill. I mean, it could be even, or a knight skill really. Doesn't have to be evil. Grants a 15% chance that allies can activate their radiant energy, dealing 165 magic damage to a target enemy over 2 seconds, and then casting the target to explode. Pretty neat. Ignite the fires of hate in them. They fight you, and then you get a 15% chance that the allies activate radiant energy. Oh, they can. 15% chance that allies can activate radiant energy, so they have to be. 15% chance they have to actually activate it too, doing more damage and causing the target to explode. Wow. I mean, it straight kills them then. 15% of the time it's a death spell, or it can be activated to do death. That's pretty neat. 15% of the time it can be a death, so I wonder if that works on bosses, as it says it causes them to explode. Bone Shield, surround yourself with a whirlwind of bones. This is a pretty neat skill line. 100%. I mean, for if you're playing like a necromancer wizard or something like that. 100% of your max health. Allies can activate the bone wall synergy. A lot of it is like synergies in it too with allies. Absorbing damage to allies equals to 60% of their max health. The wall lasts 10 seconds and the effects for a while. That's pretty neat. Even better than your own. 6% of their health. You can make a wall for you and your allies of bone. That's pretty neat. Necrotic Orb. Projected globe of annihilation that floats forward, dealing 88 magic damage to nearby enemies. An ally can activate the combustion synergy, causing the orb to explode for 660 magic damage and restoring the ally for 190 magicka over 10 seconds. Plus additional magicka based on number of enemies hit. That's pretty neat. Man, there's some really powerful spells there to work with as in allies. If you're like in groups, which you could, because a lot of those, the idea of the Undaunted, and a lot of it's built into doing dungeons and stuff. So it's a good PVE line. It looks like. Undaunted Command. Activating an allies synergy restores 2% of your max health, stamina, and magicka. Gives you health 47%. That's kind of cool. It actually gives you max health, stamina, and magicka by 1%, like for all 3 pools, no matter what you're wearing. So you basically can get like a 6% boost. Heavy, medium, light. That's pretty cool. Kind of boost up all your pools right there with that one. That's a pretty neat one. So pretty cool skill line. Pretty powerful stuff. A lot of it you have to really, to unlock the true power, but you have to have allies involved in it. But I do like that. Throw that back on there. So my secondary, so I can start leveling up this stuff and unlock. I like the trapping webs. Does damage to him and slows him down. So we need a little attack, maybe. Try it out. Alright, and then the racial destruction talent. I already got it. Increases, you automatically get this. Increases experience gain with the destruction staff still on. That's pretty neat. That really helps if you're doing the destructive staff. It just kind of gives it a boost so you get it quicker, but once you max it all out, then it's a worthless skill. Spell charge increases magicka regeneration while in combat by 3%. Magicka regenerates while you're in combat. I wonder what that exactly means, while in combat. Like, how do they gear that? You know, if you were attacked or attacked something in the last few seconds, or is it just really any, all the time? Increases your max magicka by 4%. That's pretty good. You get a bigger pool going. So definitely would want to max out those. Elemental talent, increase your damage with frostfire and shock effect by 2%. Frostfire and shock, so all of them. You got 3 of them, so 6%. Do more damage, so that's pretty good. That's the idea. Mana and damage. Then you got all your crafting stuff, basically. That's pretty much it. Got some class skills here, basically. We can go through Shattering Prison, Rune Prison. Prison enemy a Spear of Dark Magic for 15 seconds. This effect ends if the enemy takes damage. So that one is like pause. That's like let there be peace. You know, you can call it whatever you want, but it's like for 15 seconds you don't do shit. Now, if you could do multiple enemies, that'd be pretty cool. Problem is, if it does damage, so say you do it to one guy and then you do an area effect damage, he gets out of the fucking prison. So I'd rather be able to do damage to him while they're in the prison. And so although this is 15 seconds, and that's the idea, if you look at this, it's 4 seconds, so it's 3 times as long. At least you can probably even increase the duration of that. So pretty neat, but powerful spell, but it's kind of just take someone out of the battle for a little bit. Would be the idea if there was multiple ones. Dark Exchange. Bargain with Darkness to restore 300 health and 456 magicka at the expense of stamina per second for 4 seconds. So you basically can give yourself health and magicka and drain your stamina to nothing. I like that. That's pretty good, because if you're doing a good spell casting, I shouldn't be moving around too much anyways. It should be safe with all of my controls, hopefully. Daedric Mine. Surprise your foes by placing 3 volatile Daedric caltrops that explode when an enemy comes close, dealing 618 magic damage and immobilizing the enemy for 1.5 seconds. Mines take 3 seconds to activate. So throw down 3 mines. It blows up on them and then immobilizes them for not even 2 seconds. So I mean, if you hit it, one guy hit it, it would be almost 2100 damage if you hit all 3 of them. So that's pretty cool. But they have to kind of be running at you or know where they're going. Alright, Unholy Knowledge. Reduces magic and stamina costs. That's good. Blood. While using dark magic abilities, hitting an enemy with dark magic ability heals you for 4%. Increases the duration of dark magic abilities by 10%. This is pretty good too. Another way to kind of heal yourself, blood magic. And the exploitation activating dark magic ability grants minor prophecy to nearby. Increasing spell critical. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. the summoning, you have the curse, you get the winged highlight, you can do a protective of armor, an award, protects you, so danger energy to protect you and your summoned creatures. Each globe can absorb 11,000, 1100. That's pretty good defensive spell if you need one. Rebate. Abilities, one of your summoned creatures is killed or summoned, you restore magicka. Yeah, alright. So, Storm Calling. So pretty much went through all this. Lightning Form. Lightning Splash creates a nexus of storm energy at the target location that deals 98 shock damage to nearby enemies. Activate Conduit and do a bunch of damage. Surge, invoke Meridia's name to get a rush of power and major brutality, increases weapon damage by 20% for 7 seconds. So here's another way to boost your damage. And critical strikes heal you. Bolt Escape. Transform yourself into a pure energy and flash forwards and enemies nearby. Like, that's pretty cool. Good escape. That's a good defense spell. To get the heck out of there. Like a little portal spell, teleport spell. Magicka recovery. Storm Calling abilities. Disintegrate. 3% chance to instantly disintegrate low health targets 3% of the time. That's pretty neat. Sorcerer ability slotted. That's pretty cool. Current value would be 4%. So that's pretty much all of that. Alright, that's what I'm going to call that stream, and I'm going to cut those up, turn them into little videos on skill lines and the builds and stuff like that. And that's about it. Thanks for watching.